Can we play? Oh.
So we're going to try something a little bit different today. I want to be able to take $10 and get what's needed to make a paddle. This is for those that are trying to be kinky on a budget, because we've all been there before. Make a couple of stops and see what we can find. First stop, Harbor Freight. I want to show y'all how to do this with even having to buy the tools to do it. So I figured the cheapest route to go, of course, would be Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight gets a lot of slack for being cheap tools, but you know, if you're working on a budget or you can't afford a lot of stuff and you just need like a one-off, it's not bad, and they do have a lot of pretty decent stuff. That's where we're going first. All right, mission accomplished on getting a saw. This is normally $4.99, but I happened to find 20% off coupon online while I was waiting in line, because it always takes forever at Harbor Freight to get through the cashier. But it is what it is. But that leaves me with $5.68 to get the rest of the materials, so we're on to Home Depot. All right, so I'm just now leaving Home Depot, and it was $3.42 for that piece of wood and the electrical tape. Electrical tape will make a lot more sense here in a little while, but it may not be the prettiest piece of wood. It may not be a piece of mahogany or walnut or paduic or anything, but she'll get the job done. Now, the grand total between Harbor Freight and Home Depot came out to $774, leaving $226. Yeah, I guess that's going to go into my retirement fund. Yeah, right. Tape, which will be explained later on why that's in the mix. We got this 12-inch compass saw used for cutouts of curved shapes in wood, plywood, or plasterboard. We're just going to stick with straight cuts just to make life a little bit easier, because since this is for people on a budget, it's also probably one of the first times some of y'all maybe even doing a woodworking project. The wood I got is a 1x4 by 8 foot long construction grade. I don't even know what the hell kind of wood it is. It's not really relevant for what we're trying to do, but you know, it's not the prettiest. There's little imperfections there, knots, that marking, knots. There's a little waviness down here, which it's probably from the milling. It's interesting because, you know, everybody always wants this perfect piece of wood, or they want this already taken care of from the showroom floor, perfectly milled and straight and cleaned up. You can work with whatever you have and you will still get some enjoyment out of it. You know, wood is like people. It's not always pretty and perfectly straight and cut and sanded and worked to perfection. Not everybody's like that. Not all wood is like that. Wood can have those imperfections in them. They can be crooked or bent. They could be damaged. They could be all kinds of manner of fucked up. But with a little bit of work and determination, they can be turned into something beautiful. You can just be wood. You know what I think? Go from there. We'll do it like that. That'll give about a good little starting point. And I don't even know how long that is up. I'd have to say probably about 16 inches. 15 and a half. I was close. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, hit that notification bell, and don't forget to check out our website. Follow us on all the social media platforms. And we do have a newsletter. If you go to our website, penguinafterdark.com, you can sign up for our newsletter and get all types of exclusive deals, find out information about what we have going on, what's coming up, get discounts, coupons. When you do something for the newsletter, you're going to get a confirmation email. Be sure to click that confirmation email because it's like a 2-tiered system to try to avoid spam and shit. So we'd really appreciate it. We'd really appreciate you checking out all of our other stuff. Just like that, you have a paddle. Just kidding. When marking the shape, let me find my pencil. What you can do is take, like, imagine how much of it you're going to want to hold or need to hold. So you can actually place your hand on there. Just draw a line. And then what we're going to do, kind of just try to visualize the center. And just kind of do like that. Like that. And we're going to take out the corners up there. But I found generally about 1.5 inches is a good size handle thickness, but we're just going to eyeball this because our $10 budget did not compensate for tape measure. So just kind of eyeball that. Actually, I know it isn't straight and pretty, but we're actually going to take that in right there and right there. So don't worry about that line and that line and that line. That. Oh, there it is. We're actually going to go what? And that's the shape of our handle. Let's get to work. I took one of the cutoffs from the handle and I'm cutting it to split it in half, which will be made apparent in a little bit, but there was like 12 minutes of footage trying to cut this thing in half. So we're just going to go ahead and fast forward to the end result. Cutting this piece in half was definitely a lot more work than all the rest of this, but I did that because this is a pretty lightweight wood. And, you know, if you swatted someone hard enough, it'd probably break. So these are going to get attached kind of like so to act as like, kind of like knife scales. One on each side there. Now, see, the beauty of it is this whole project, you know, we're only working with $10. There's no sandpaper. And I could have gotten sandpaper instead of the tape, but the tape is actually going to work twofold because it's going to act or threefold because it's going to be basically combining the pieces since we don't have glue. It's going to be covering up all the rough edges since we don't have sandpaper, and it's going to act as a design element. Well, I guess I'm going to show you how to make a lanyard with the electrical tape. Let's get back on this. Now, I know that scissors aren't part of the budget, but it's safe to say that most people should have a pair of scissors or a pocket knife or a steak knife that can aid in this next part. I'm taking a strip of tape to start the scales just to basically get them into position. And I just kind of work around the first one, then get the second one. And then all of a sudden, we should have it ready to just go boom. Whenever I'm taping something like this, I try to pull the tape taut. That way I can prevent any air bubbles from forming underneath or any like little kind of foldovers like how tape does, because those things can actually lead to structural integrity issues, quote unquote, and could eventually start unraveling, or it could form a pocket that just eventually comes undone over time. Since we don't have sandpaper, which is optimal to knock these edges off to keep them clean, because if those edges are too sharp, they're going to end up causing someone to bleed and fluid bond. And I mean, if that's your thing, that's pretty cool and go for it. But I know a lot of people aren't really into that. Plus, if you're like a lot of people where you have a couple of different play partners, you really don't want to be using bonded toys with other people. So I'm just trying to work it so cover up all the wood and it won't leave those surfaces. I like to cut electrical tape because it gives that clean edge. I know a lot of people will sit there and they'll tear it, and that, you know, that works for a lot of applications, but that's a thing that if it ever snagged a little bit, that's where it would start peeling off. But when you get it a clean cut, it not only disappears, you can kind of see right there, but it's a lot harder, like rubbing out, it's not going to come off. I would have to actually dig into it to get it to come free. So we'll just keep on with what we're doing here. I also like electrical tape for the fact that it's a little bit more moisture tolerant, I guess. Just so, you know, if you're playing someone and they're sweating, you don't have to worry about it starting to come unraveled because their sweat permeated the adhesive side. And another thing too, now I bought this roll and it was, I can't remember what the price was, but at Home Depot, Lowe's, any electrical supply chain will actually sell different colored electrical tape. So you can pick it up in red, green, blue, white, purple, pink, orange, yellow, even brown. And it's about $3 and some change. So it's a little bit more than just getting your straight up black tape. Wanted to kind of add a little bit more, you know, design element to this. You could actually choose any of those colors and, you know, do like write little words or, you know, kind of do whatever and get a little bit more artistic with it. Or you can just do straight up black like this. See, since our budget didn't include clear coat and sandpaper or spray paint or stain, you know, we're just going for simple and cheap and definitely effective. And if you do get a little bit of bubbles, screw it. It's not supposed to be the Mona Lisa. It's supposed to be your own toy. And just like that, you got your own toy. Oh, what would have been kind of cool. Let's do this. But why? Because it's a little added. Fuck you. That's why. Yeah. That just gives a little bit more for the sadists out there. Yes. Basically, so now you have 2 toys. Yeah. So there you have it. Under $10, under $8 actually. Got a pretty usable paddle. Now, yes, it'll definitely work. Yes, you can play and you'll have a grand old time. That design, that shape that we just used is your basic paddle shape that everyone does. Now, of course, everyone has their own little, tweaks, and, people have their own formulas for the handle dimensions and for how you can put things together. Oh, I forgot to do the lanyard. Hold on. So I actually forgot to record the making of the lanyard, so now it's a couple days later and wearing a different shirt, different outfit. And I had to actually cut the lanyard off so I can show you how to make one. So go ahead and take your electrical tape, pull off a pretty healthy amount, attach it to the handle. You can either do it at the end of the handle or you can do it closer up here. Kind of give it a quick turnaround like that. And then what you do is you actually take it, kind of pinch it, run all the way down. That way you can basically adhering it to itself. Almost like a weird rope. I mean, I'm sure you can get super fancy and do a braid or something. But then once you take that, then you bring it back around the other side like so. Take it, just kind of hold it out of the way and then tape that bitch down. Boom. Cut that off. And you have a lanyard. You can hang it around your neck if you have a smaller head than me. You can hold it on here. And then, you're not coming out of my hands. I'm gonna get you. Gonna get you. Okay, and just like that, now you have a paddle. Like I said, she ain't pretty, but a little bit of hard work and determination, she became something fun. And you know what? She will definitely serve her purpose very well. Until next time, see you!